And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Strategic Command World War I Cold to Arms campaign as the Central Powers. And at this point, spring has arrived, for good or for ill. Let's review, as we're halfway through the stream here, with the reports. So loss-wise, the Russians make up 41% of the global combat losses in full units. Serbia, 9%, France, 14%, UK, 18%, Austria-Hungary, 11%, and the Germans, 7%. So, as the Central Powers, we've only lost about 18% of all the combat losses. Mostly as corps, we've lost 1 detachment, and we've lost 1 destroyer. The French have lost a destroyer, the British have lost a light cruiser, the Russians have lost 11 corps, 4 cavalry corps, 1 mountain corps, and 2 detachments. Which is one of the reasons they've lost so many at this point. Let's look at national morale. Okay, so the Ottomans are down because we've lost Basar. Well, I guess that wasn't Basar. That jump was Basar. 87%. So they're taking combat effectiveness malice. National morale malice. British are at 94%, so no malice there. The French are at 90. If they go down anymore, they'll take a mild malice. Italians aren't in yet. Serbia's at 92. The Russians are at 87, so the Russians are starting to get maliced. Germans are still over 100%. Austria-Hungary is at 94%. So the Ottomans are taking a hit to combat effectiveness, and the Russians are. There's a couple other ones that are getting real close. And now, in March 27th, we have artillery weapons 1 on the Germans. You'll notice every artillery weapons adds half a de-entrenchment. Really, the only one that matters is artillery weapons 1, because it takes you from half to 1. Also doubles the demoralization, which is useful. I think that's what's going on. Yeah, that's what's going on. Also increases the attack values. We're a little bit more likely to actually kill something. Doesn't really amount to much. The big thing is the de-entrenchment there, and the demoralization. Has the supply situation improved that we can reinforce here? Yes. The French haven't got entrenchment 2 yet, or entrenchment 1 yet. So we actually are ahead of them in the trench warfare game on the Western Front. Or was it the... No, the French still only have 1. The cities give +1. Okay. Oh, and that's the French mine. So that would be a decent hex to try taking just to deny them the mine. Although we're going to take 2 hits either way we do it if we're attacking. So we might not want to do that. Yeah, we'll probably hold off on attacking here on the Western Front. We'll reinforce the recon bombers because of that. How close are the Italians during the war? The bonus is easy ways to see that. 27%? Oh. I would have expected them to be farther along. Interesting. They're not going to stay out indefinitely. They will be coming. So let's do the Ottoman front first. We're going to go ahead and deploy and on that hill there. Those guys are going to stay there. We want you to reinforce so you can be a better commander. Deploy you a little bit forward and dig in. Yeah, like that. Our goal here is to delay the marching British troops. Not necessarily to stop them. How much can we reinforce you? Get you to full. That's good. It's a little bit of a problem they're not entrenched. They'll at least be attacking across a river there. Okay, can't reinforce any of those locations. Although we can do one of the commands. And yeah, there's not going to be any good opportunities for the Ottomans to attack the Russians. Their job is to stall and tie up Ottoman or Russian troops. A little concerned about how sparse the line is up here. Although that's quite plausibly easy to fix. Yeah. Okay. Can we reinforce? Yeah. Scoot forward. Yeah. So we're gonna put you there, you there, you there. Can you dig in? Yes. Not quite sure how aggressive I want to be there yet. Okay, so we can take up positions on the river there. Although only you can dig in for the moment. Push you into the town. That does free up that cav to either push it north. Yeah, we have no cav in the north. Let's push it north. So we're now outside of Warsaw and the Novogrodsk fortress here. Both the national morale objectives for Russia. In particular, Warsaw is massive. It's like a 6,000 point national morale objective for the Russians. Is the overlay going to work here on the breakdown for the national morale? I might need a tech for that. I know late in the game you can actually see how much people we'll have national morale-wise in breakdown. Right now we just got bars up here. And the bars are kind of useful, but they're not as useful as a numerical breakdown. Thinking we ideally want take either of those 2 hexes. These 2 zeros are pretty bad. Okay. Apparently not doing that. It's not with our current equipment. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have moved forward the 3-0. That was a mistake. Should have looked at my units a little more before I pushed forward. Don't quite have the range. If we could dink the battleship, we dink the battleship. Let's get the armored carrier into port. We're going to have the artillery pieces, which will help get things moving again on that front. One isn't very good. Oh, I wasn't expecting there to be defensive artillery there. If getting out of the position to attack that artillery was not a really bad plan, I would so totally dink that artillery. One to 3. Well, we'll take the 1 to 3. That's 1 to 3. Okay. Okay, so I can definitely free you up. Let's do that. No. We wanted you to stay in that position. Two isn't probably worth taking. I think we will inch forward here and dig up on the Russian rail line there. Not quite enough to get rid of it. Ooh. Oh no, you've already struck, so you can't strike again. So I can get him into a position where you'd be able to swing from it. You can't take the swing, that doesn't help much. Okay, so we'd like to be dug in, but we're definitely doing a good job at shorting the line over here. So you're the only one who can attack. I'm not going to take 2-2 odds. The Italians, as far as I can tell, aren't in yet. I'm not sure how much more time we have where they come in. I was actually kind of expecting them to be farther along, weirdly. Okay, so the Ottomans don't have enough to do any naval repairs. So we're not going to do anything with the Ottoman Navy. I'm going to put you on Hunt. Can I... The subs ran into each other. Okay. There's the armored cruiser. Sadly, my Dreadnought is out of position taking advantage of this. Oh, maybe it isn't. Yeah, just enough to pound it. 5 for 1. Would prefer... Ow. And of course you shot back at it. Oof, darn. I wanted you to be able to hit the armored carrier, or the armored cruiser. I don't actually have the range for what I wanted. I wanted to be able to go there. Because of the port protection, I'm not allowed to do that. Okay, we'll see what the other guy, what the sub does. It wasn't the best of naval play, I'm feeling. Okay, so that's the destroyer. You're on Hunt. And the Russian port is unfrozen. So let's go raid that line a bit. You've been dinked to 5, so you definitely need to come back for repair. 7 is a little bit more up to debate. Send you around the long way. Oop. And we've got another sub. Needs to come out. Okay. So, Eastern Front, Serbian Front. Serbian Front could have definitely been better. I screwed up. I should have just reinforced that kind of place. Although we're probably in the circumstance where if the Serbians do attack that one exposed guy, they won't be particularly happy. Oh, and you can entrench, so at least entrench. Make them work for it. Okay, and we got we got money to spend with the Germans and the Austro-Hungarians. The Germans can get another artillery piece, which is tempting. Yeah, let's get the 4th artillery piece as the Germans in the queue. The Austro-Hungarians have enough they can pick up a mountain corps or replace their lost corps. We're going to take the... Oh, I could take and replace the corps as the Germans as well. Take the replace corps as the Austro-Hungarians. And maybe some tech. Yeah, let's invest in a second industry tech. And then cycle the turn, and we'll see how much we get punished for our aggressive maneuvers on most of our fronts. Although first, let's be dug in here. You are not dug in. You get the shovel out. Make sure we're dug in everywhere. You're technically there for partisan blocking. Although you don't necessarily need to be on the national moral objective. We'll keep you on the national moral objective for the moment. Okay. So let's cycle the turn. We'll see how the Entente powers handle our aggressive maneuvers. Commander of the High Seas Fleet, Admiral von Voll. To increase our strength in the Mediterranean, we could send a U-boat section via barge and rail to Pola and the Adriatic. From there, we can use the Austro-Hungarian bases to strike at enemy shipping. Sending a U-boat section to Pola will cost us 50 MPP, and we'll deploy there in June. Yes, we will accept that. Grand Vizier Saad Alim Pasha. The Locust Plague has drastically reduced food production in and around Jerusalem. Do not, there will be widespread hunger in this winter. Our empire status will suffer as well, as we will be seen weak if we do not do something. Providing emergency food supplies to enable the population to get through the winter will cost us 30 MPPs. Saying yes will provide food and prevent any reduction in national morale. Taking no will alienate many of our subjects and reduce national morale by 1,000. We therefore recommend saying yes to this, which I probably will do. Central Powers advance in Poland, swings Bulgaria towards the Central Powers. Crit clients miss and salvages the Abadan oil refinery. I did not hear a dink, so it didn't work. V161 hit by rough seas. Entente units north of Scotland break into Germany. Entente naval units blockade imports to Germany in the North Sea. Austro-Hungarian develops Trench Warfare 1. So the Austrians have learned a little bit how to dig their trenches. That'll make the Russian attacks weaker. So it looks like the Serbians are mostly spending their price on repairing their troops. Okay, our opportunity to send the cruiser to the bottom is gone. Here comes the English probe out of Egypt. Well, it'll take a couple turns before it truly materializes. Recon bombers reconning. So that's probably where the impending attacks are coming in. Italian nationalists call for Italy to enter the war, so they'll shift a little bit closer to being the war. Main uprising in the Van. Okay, so that probably dinked the supply, not our units. And we disrupt raiders. Or raiders disrupt the convoys. Blockades. Venezuelan soldier fortune, Rafael de Nogales Mendez joins the Ottoman army. Charlie Chaplin stars in The Tramp. Bread rationing begins in Germany as baking cakes is forbidden. Pancho Villa is defeated at the Battle of Celaya in Mexico. And it's raining. At least in some places. Okay, no unit losses. Destroyer for the Germans. So we've got more destroyers than we need as the Germans. And we really would like another one as the Austro-Hungarians. The Mets have arrived. Provide escort cover to our bombers. And it's raining. This is going to affect our ability to resupply the Ottoman units. Okay, we got them up to 6. That's going to be good enough to hold. Okay, I'm going to swap the battleship and destroyers around. This is a pre-dreadnought battleship, so it's not super deadly. Oh, I can do 1 to 2. I'll do 1 to 2. And we can't have you dig in, but that's fine. Start pulling you up. We're going to accept that there's going to be a revolt here, and we're just going to accept that that's the case. The hopes is that we're going to get Bulgaria and Serbia, so we can get troops through there. So you're going to need to reinforce before you really in effect. You can reinforce. Full. Okay, that's good. One to 4 to 1-3. It's going to be easier to follow up on the 1 to 3, but we're going to do the 1 to 4. Could do the 1 to 2, but we're not going to. We're going to reinforce you. In fact, let's just bring up the reinforce tool. Yes, 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 yes. One to 4 there is pretty good. 1 to 3. Forced is pretty good defensive terrain, so we're going to advance into it and dig in. Now these guys are on the river. Instead of reinforcing, we're going to get them dug in. Let's dig in. And up here, they haven't even come to our positions. Take our reinforcements while we can. Let's upgrade the artillery. So it gets its artillery weapon upgrade. Same here. This is not necessarily good weather to be attacking in, but we are going to begin an attack nonetheless. Recon out. Successful. Enemy de-entrenched. So we went to 2v5. We'll take that. So Dawn has fallen. When you arrive with not enough action points to actually dig in. So that isn't as good as it could have been. Would have liked to be able to dig in there. Because we had to cross the river. Now we got Verdun on 4 sides. If we basically repeat what we just did, we'll need to save up the whole complement of shells, which will take a while, but we should be able to overrun Verdun. Let's dink this. Well, let's try to get rid of the British. Let's do a little bit more than dink it. Okay, that wasn't ideal, but it was fine. See how the retaliation comes in on the next turn. Germans can purchase a core for cheap, so do that. Let's get protection tech going. It's the Germans. And everyone else has spent their money. I almost forgot about the Seymour. That would have been a mistake. A little concerned about the degree of the destroyers we've been running into recently. What's your supply looking like? 6. So I'm going to start working you back, hopefully not running into the destroyers on the way. Let's flag these to silent running. Try to run the destroyer line. Go north of Iceland with you. Let's swap over to that route. Start working our way back. So that's India to UK. And then we can do some reconnaissance with the airship. If we see basically any ships that are in this sort of range, we'll basically pounce on them, send them to the bottom. Okay, let's try to get our subs out. At least one of the subs out. To do some raiding. Battleship was good and smart enough to get back to port. We don't really have the bombardment capacity to ding them in harbor, so we're just going to pull back to our ports. We also don't have the MPP to do any ship repairs, so we are where we are. Although our German infantry here is going to prevent them from using this port. So that artillery is up to strength. We'll use it for demoralization, or reducing the morale on that Serbian unit in our way on the next turn. We are starting to shorten the front line over here, freeing up... well, not necessarily freeing up, but meaning the reinforcements we have inbound don't need to deploy over here. Right, so we've had units been lost, and they will be coming in. The replacements will be coming in. So the Germans, 20th of January. Next year. That's next year. April. 30th of April. Okay, so you'll be coming on the next turn. Possibly that sub. No, that sub's next year. Yeah, that April. So that mounted troop will come. That'll help with the Italian border. Oh, we're out of May. April. Oh, that might be coming. For the Italian border. We're gonna want more. I'm gonna have to find someplace to scavenge them from. That's one reason also they're shorting the front line is so that it's gonna be easier to scavenge the surplus troops. And arguably, we're probably there, where I can probably pull this one off if we needed to. Could push the cav into the line and pull an infantry off there as well. Yeah. We could even probably give more of Prussia if we were really desperate for more troops for the Italian front. And not this turn. Well, to destroyed the fort, which is probably the thing we want the artillery for. We actually need 5 shells. You have 2. It's been there 2 turns. Yeah, so I think it's been there 2 turns, so it's got 2 shells. It's getting 1 a turn. I think we're only getting 1 a turn right now. You haven't got gas shell production yet. Yeah, we haven't got gas shell production yet. So it's actually going to take it 3 more turns if we're going to level the fort. But leveling the fort will help shorten the front line. We might actually drag this one down and use both artillery to reduce the salient. I'm farther forward than I was in my other game up in Prussia. So really we want to sort of shorten the salient here by taking out Warsaw and the fort. And then we'll see where the Russian national morale is at that point. I may end up actually pulling one of the artillery off to go to the Serbian front, because the Serbian front's slow. It got static a lot faster than I'd hoped. And the Italian version of artillery weapons is a little way off. It's only half done. Yeah, so let's cycle the turn. We'll see how the central how the Entente handles our central power aggression. I think the Italians will be coming in soon. I didn't check where they are, but they're not going to be much longer, I suspect. Forgot to move the commander troops forward. Whoops. I think we've got enough to at least get those mountain troops forward. Although maybe not much more than that. Progress on trench warfare, we're up to 85%. 461 MPP. 260 for the Austro-Hungarians. The Ottomans are up to 175. And it's clear weather, which isn't super great for us. Destroyer. Our subs hit each other. That's not ideal. Okay, that works. Cost us the supply, but that works. Interceptor's doing some work. Of course, we only have 1 interceptor, so it only intercepts 1 of the 2 recon bomb runs. Oh, that's a veteran British unit. Yeah, that was a believable result. Wasn't expecting a double-star veteran British overstrength unit coming. Although we lost 1 corps, which, in comparison to what we did to the Entente powers, is not bad. Oh, that cavalry is about to have a bad day. We're basically going to do to them what they did to us, so... Ah, the destroyer found us. It's a little bit good that that mountain unit is, you know, not in the Caucasus, where it would be more effective. Secret talks with Italian diplomats take place in London. Okay, so that's going to accelerate the Italians coming in. We're not going to have much longer for the Italians here. Italian nationalists call for Italy into the war. Italy prepares for war. Okay, so they're within the last 20% of joining the war at this point. Our raiders are disrupting the UK, or Egypt, UK, and UK-Russia lines. And we're being blockaded still. Second corps destroyed. But that was the only corps destroyed, so that was a fairly good turn for us. Ninth corps deploys. Let's deploy it there. Mountain corps deploys. We'll have to remember to march this one in. And yeah, this is where I'm going to go ahead and put the part break in. A little bit of a shorter part for this part, because I think the part's going to be too long if I try to play out the turn and the next end turn. So if you're watching on YouTube, there will be another part up tomorrow. We're going to record one more part tonight before we end the stream. If you're watching on Twitch, I will be back after a short break just to stretch the legs. So until the next part, wish you all the best luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.